Hey guys, welcome back. I got cut off because of the time limit, so this will be really quick. We just have three more points to get to. I think it's three. So we were talking about the Berlin airlift, how planes were going in every 45 seconds, which is amazing. Um, if if you know anything about flying, just the timing that all that has to work out. Plus, Berlin is not huge, and it's only half of Berlin. So the Berlin airlift was a success, not only to give the supplies to the people of Western Berlin, but because it it shows that we were tougher. We could get through this. We can get past the bullies of the communists. When they're going to close off the city, we'll just find another way to get in. So it really was an encouraging and an uplifting time to say, hey, we can make it. So the communists really were kind of bullies, trying to push us as far as we could to see if a fight would happen, but um, the West, the free countries, were able to get it done. Now back home in America, we have a very important election. We have Harry S. Truman against Dewey, and it's very, very close. In fact, the night before, the experts were all projecting that Dewey would beat Trump. And what you see on page 336 is a picture of, I just said Trump, didn't I? Dewey would beat Truman. It's pretty close to Trump. The newspapers were projecting that Truman would lose to Dewey. In fact, what you see on 336 is Truman holding up a newspaper that says Dewey beats Truman. But Truman is there accepting the presidency, accepting the fact that he won. So the reason why he's holding that newspaper is because the newspapers has printed for the next day saying Dewey won, because all the experts were saying that Dewey had enough points to win. Everyone goes to bed that night thinking Dewey is going to win, but after they counted everything up, Truman actually won. And Truman wins the presidency. And it reminds us a lot of this past election with Donald Trump, how President Trump beat Hillary Clinton. Everyone was thinking Hillary Clinton was going to win. And if I'm honest, I thought that Hillary Clinton was going to win, just because I didn't think enough people would vote for Trump. But we saw in the 2016 election that these people, really from nowhere, at least no one had considered these people voting for Trump, and Trump won the vote, and he won the electoral college. So President Trump won, which was really kind of a shock to our nation. Same thing with Truman. In fact, so much of a shock that the newspapers even got it wrong. So that's kind of humorous. Um, One big thing Truman does is he creates this nation state of Israel. Israel has not become a nation, its own country, since they were destroyed way back in the Old Testament. They were conquered by the Romans, well, first the Babylonians, and then remember the Romans during Jesus' time, and they were dispersed. And it's not till after World War II that Israel is given their own land back. And this is going to make all the other countries so upset because Israel got their land. They don't see Israel as a legitimate country. They hate the Jews. So, as to give the Jews something after World War II, we give them their land back and actually give them their own country and their nation. Well, a bunch of countries are going to fight it, and even still to this day, they don't see Israel as a legitimate nation. And this is something that the end times, or the book of Revelation, talks about in the end times, about how the nation of Israel will be restored, but the surrounding countries will not like Israel, and they'll want to destroy Israel off the face of the map. And there are countries today that say that. Well, you do want to know that year. You also want to know the year of the Korean War. Notice how Korea is split in North and South. On page 336, you will see around the 38th parallel is where North and South Korea are split. Now, it's not exactly, but right along that parallel, you see the armistice line. That is where we decide to stop fighting, because what happens is China is communistic at this time, and they start spreading into North Korea. Well, we had troops in South Korea, well, the southern part of Korea. There is no North and South at this point. Um, But the Koreans actually come down, the Northern Koreans come down, the communists come down into Korea, take all of what we know of as North Korea, and they start coming into South Korea. Well, it looks as if North Korea is going to win because you see at the very bottom, there's a red line that says North Korean advancement as of September of 1950. That's how far North Korea went down. So it was just that very small piece at the bottom of South Korea, and not Eisenhower, I'm sorry, MacArthur is down there, and he makes this very bold move to go from Busan all the way up to Incheon. You see that right below the 38th parallel. So that was a very bold move to actually go back and attack the communists kind of behind their backs, and he does. He pushes them out, and you see where their advancement, where they get advanced all the way up to the far north, and he goes all the way into North Korea. And in fact, he talks to Truman and he says, "Listen, let's take this all the way to China. Let's get communism out." It's not he's attacking the people; he's attacking the communist military. And Truman says, "No, we're going to practice containment. Containment is we're not going to destroy communism. We're just going to keep communism from advancing more than it is." So the communists had already taken over North Korea, so we can't do anything about that. We just have to contain it. So think of all the problems that we would not be facing today if MacArthur could have pushed the communists all the way out of North Korea and even into China. It was getting to the point where MacArthur could have gone into China. The communists were running, not all the way into China, but he could have gotten some of that land back. But Truman said, no, we're going to practice containment. So it's kind of interesting to see what our world could have been like because of just some of the decisions others have made. And that wraps up the chapter. For your homework, you're going to do the section review identify sections. So you're only doing the bottom identify of 20.3 and 20.4. I don't want you doing the questions. I just want you to do the identify. You can do it like we did before with term and then just write the definition or what's notable for that. Don't worry about complete sentences because I know you guys have a quiz as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this lecture. I enjoy being able to teach just like class. I miss it. Hope to see you guys soon. I'm excited for the Zooms. I'll let you know when our next Zoom in as well. Have an awesome day and an awesome weekend.